Hi, I'm Gabchik. This is the first of the 4 videos in which I'm going to tell you about sacred geometry, Bulgarian folklore and healing properties of the herbs. Those are the main inspirations behind my graphic Prayer for Fertility. Today I'm starting with sacred geometry, which is one of the most inspiring things. It pushed me to dedicate my life to pass on information through art. I'm starting with the seed of life. It stands in the base of the sacred geometry flower of life, and I'm sure you have seen it at least once. It is very ancient and can be found in different archaeological sites all around the globe, in countries like Scotland, Israel, China, Turkey, Egypt, India, Germany, Bulgaria, Sweden, France, Czech Republic, Greece, and at least 14 other places. It is also known as the sixth petal rosette. The oldest flower of life is found in Egypt, in the Temple of Osiris. It dates between 8,000 and 10,500 years before Christ. The interesting thing there is that the flower of life is not carved into the stone, but rather burnt into its atomic structure, according to the scientist Nassim Haramein. It is hard to believe that the Egyptians had such an advanced technology, and it is possible that this information was left by a more advanced civilization which is lost. What is the seed of life actually? It represents the 7 stages, 7 steps of creation, which are provided in various concepts such as the 7 days of creation in the Bible, to present something so incredible in a more easier way to understand. Let me visualize it for you so you can get it more. Imagine spirit, consciousness, floating in a vast darkness to infinity. It doesn't have knowledge about space and directions because it doesn't have an object to compare itself to. Spirit decides to expand its consciousness and creates a sphere around itself. Now it has knowledge about directions. The analogy with the 7 days of creation in the Bible is: in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, up and down, directions. The next thing that Spirit does is to go to the corner of its realized consciousness and create another sphere with the same radius. What implements movement in the Bible is, and the Spirit of God was moving over the waters. The geometry that is formed between the 2 spheres is called vesica Piscis. It contains information about width, depth, proportion, but what is more important is that it contains information about light. We all know the words, and God said, "Let it be light," and there was light. Then the 3rd sphere is created, again with the same radius, and its center is at the crossing point of the first 2 spheres. The geometry that we get now is the Holy Trinity. This process continues, and when it reaches 7 spheres, we get the seed of life, and when it continues to 19 spheres, we get the flower of life. My favorite way to explain this geometry is the path through which the soul of each one of us went through in order to manifest itself in the material world. You don't believe me? Check out the analogy with the cell division in the mother uterus. Such a big coincidence, don't you think? When we realize sacred geometry, it's very important to know that it is just a static moment of a process which involves movement, expansion, merging, etc. It is provided in perfect symmetry, so our mind can understand just a tiny fraction of a larger universal principle of creation. There is so much more to be said about sacred geometry, but my idea is to provide basic information, and if you're interested, you can go deeper by checking out the resources I have provided in my website gabchik.com. If you like this video and want to see more, you can support me by liking my Facebook page Gabchik, or getting one of the silkscreen printed and manually colored prints, or one of the 8 unique bags that I created. They're both limited edition. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I was helpful, and I wish you all the best.